He's like the little brother I never had. I'm just kidding. My mom would have aborted him if she knew how he'd turn out. Right? So Todd was talking about coming, right? I'm 33 and I get cum fright now. Yeah, make the room feel really awkward. Like I get really nervous about coming now. Like I don't know what it is. Like you can only come in a certain window of time with girls. Coming is like the first phone call when you get a girl's phone number, right? Like if you do it too early, she thinks you're ultra desperate. And if you take too long, she knows I'm desperate again because then she knows I whack off too much. Right? Only my aunt, my godmother, laughed at that. Wow. Okay. My aunt, my own aunt, laughed at that joke. That's good. It's kind of good. Whatever. Okay, our next comic, very, very, very good friend of mine. I feel like I say that in front of everybody, but this is true. We went to college together, an old frat brother. I'm a douchey frat guy, so is he. He's coming up. Excellent comic, Mr. Martin Conneely. Martin Conneely, everybody.
Beautiful crowd. All right, I've been showing a lot of my past videos to my friends on YouTube, and I keep getting the same reaction. Do I really look that much like Pee Wee Herman? I'm not supposed to laugh. The one joke I'm supposed to laugh at. All right, he just said we were douches, and I've been hearing it all over the place. You guys been hearing it a lot? It's on TV. I've seen it in the newspaper even, and I think that's wrong because I think douchebags are delightful. Think about it. Douchebags keep women's vaginas pH balanced. And thus, edible. Going down on a girl who doesn't like to use douchebags is like eating a bag of Sour Patch Kids and washing it down with yogurt. You laugh because you agree. I went to Northern Illinois University with Mark, and anybody else here go to NIU? No? All right. I learned some lessons in college. I was kind of the wilder person on campus, which I'd imagine most stand-up comedians were. The number one lesson I learned in college is this. What happens when you feed a cow 3/5 of Jack Daniels? It dies. I learned other things too. I learned the difference between streaking a sorority house and streaking an all-girls dorm. I thought it would be the same thing. It's just a building full of college-age girls. Not the same thing. When you streak a sorority house, you get one reaction. They love it. When you streak an all-girls dorm, well, it starts off with they don't enjoy the sight of your naked body as much as you thought they would. Then they call the police, and their boyfriends try to fight you. But you can't fight back, because then you're rolling around on the ground naked with another dude while 50 horrified women look on. I guess you could sum it up as they mistake your lighthearted humor for murderous rape. That's pretty much what happens when you streak an all-girls dorm. Those are the lessons I did learn in college. One of the lessons I could not figure out is why is the stuff at the bottom of the porta-john blue? Anyone else ever wonder that? Like it's blue, no matter where you go, anywhere in the world, it's always blue. And I'm like, why isn't it red, Why can't it be? But then I was like, wait, if you look down and it's red, I could be terrified. Then I was like, well, what about yellow? And then I was like, no, it couldn't be yellow because then you wouldn't be sure if you went to the washroom yet or not. Same thing with brown. So I was like, all right, maybe I should go back to blue and try to figure out why is the stuff blue? So I'm like, oh, I think I got it. Blue has a calming effect, right? And you know how it is with porta-johns, there's usually a long line waiting outside. So if you go in, the blue calms you down, everything works properly, you're in, you're out, and everyone's happy. So I'm sitting in the parking lot one night and I'm staring at this porta-john, and I'm thinking, you know what, Martin? I think tonight you need to test your theory. So I put my Jeep in reverse, line myself up, first gear, second gear, third gear, and bam. Ran over the porta-john. It was a pretty bad bam, it was a lot louder. Run over the porta-john. Now I'm going to tell you something that's between me and you. I think they should say that blue has more of an ape-shitting effect. Because when that dude eventually crawled out of there, he was the furthest thing from calm that you can imagine. And he was covered in blue. So eventually, when you've killed a cow and you killed a goose, you ran a guy over in a porta-john, and you keep running around naked, and you steal a fire truck, and you steal a pig, eventually you end up in jail. And there was one thing I came to the conclusion at while I was in jail. Actually, there was a couple things, but the first thing was I told the worst joke of my life in jail. A lot of people probably don't remember the worst joke you've ever told. I remember it specifically. Anybody would like to hear this joke? Yes! All right. So I'm sitting there at dinner, and we're sitting at one of these steel picnic tables, whatever, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? I was kind of a new guy, and I'm like, you know what? If I make a great joke right now, which I just thought of, everybody's gonna love me, and my time here is gonna be so much easier. So I jump up on the table with a big smile on my face, and I'm like, hey, what happened to all that gay prison rape I heard so much about? This is a true story. I look around, and obviously no one laughed. The only one even smiling was myself, which I was smiling because I thought that everybody would get the joke, but nobody would look me in the eye anyway, so it didn't really matter. Even if the ones that did probably thought I was just demented. And then I'm looking around on top of the table, I'm like, oh shit. All those people that aren't looking at me probably think I'm gonna try to rape them. And then the ones that are actually making eye contact with me probably think that they're gonna get raped by me. So let's just say that was the worst joke I've ever told in my life. And I would not suggest repeating it because it does not give you the desired effect of laughter. It's more of fear. Anyway, so that's the worst joke I ever told, and I just retold it again. Got the same reaction pretty much. All right, also while I was in jail, I was in Cook County Jail, and Cook County Jail is pretty much, I'd say, about 95% black people. And I'm not racist myself, but a lot of the people in Cook County Jail are quite racist. And so they kind of hate white people. And I was like, what is your guys' problem? They're like, what the hell did I do to you? And they're like, look around, man. They're like, everybody in here is black. They're like, why do you think we wouldn't hate you? And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what, you're right. If I was in a city like Chicago, and 95% of the people are black, I'd be pissed off too. So after a while, I started to think about it, and I'm like, you know what? And eventually, I just grew this deep hatred for old people and babies. Just think about it. There ain't no old people and babies in jail, is there? They're getting away with everything. And old people and babies get to wear diapers. And there's not a person in this room who has not at one point in their life needed to have worn diapers. Think about it. Now, babies I wasn't so pissed off at because babies, they have to wear diapers because they can't control themselves. But old people wear diapers because of all the anal sex they had in their youth. It's true. She's not believing me. All right, so I'm pretty sure I'm a pedophile. I was laying in bed the other night, and I was fantasizing about my high school sweetheart, and she's still 15, and I'm 32. Not really the part that bothers me. The part that bothers me is that when I'm 60, I know it's going to be the exact same fantasy. And every time I think about pedophiles, I think about midgets. And I know it doesn't make sense. Hear me out for a second here. When Gary Coleman died, I was looking at all the pictures, right? Up until the age of about, I'd say 30, he looked like an 8-year-old boy, right? But after the age of 18, he was legal. So what you had was a legal 8-year-old boy walking around. So what I think is we have this pedophile problem, right? We got all the priests having sex with the boys, we have all the teachers having sex with the boys. If we put all the pedophiles and all the midgets together, we solve the problem. Right? So I'm talking to my grandma, and I'm like, Grandma, what do you think? And she's like, Martin, what the fuck is wrong with you? She's like, don't you know that most pedophiles are gay and most midgets are straight? I was like, you're right, Grandma. I'm like, they would have to be raped, right? And people aren't gonna like that. So I'm like, we should just allow this as a society, turn a blind eye just for one generation, just to break the circle of violence, right? This is not gonna be an easy sell. I thought about this. So I've come up with a slogan, and I'm gonna leave you a slogan tonight that you can bring with you at home. Pass it on, please. Save a child, rape a midget. Good night, everyone.
All right. Save a child, rape a midget. It's got such a great ring to it, doesn't it? Save a child, rape a midget. That's awesome. That's awesome. Who are you here to see? Anish? Are you here to see Anish? Who's all here to see Anish? Yeah. Anish is our headliner. Coming up, we've got just a few comics. Anybody on a date right now? I know you two are. Yes, I know you two are. And I know you two. Lesbian date. That's hot. Dating. You go to the movies, right? Has anybody